Good morning, gifted crafters. It's crafting time.
Me and my friends are having a great time. It's not face to face, it's all online. We're all in our homes, miles away. Love them like my family, what can I say? My crafting show is on, it's my time for me. Laughter, tips and tricks, this is what I need. We're here to have fun, we're all in the zone. When crafting with friends, you're never alone.
Live from the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida, here is the Gifted Crafters Morning Show with Nancy.
Let's have a good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Good morning, Gifted Crafters, and welcome back to the Gifted Crafters Morning Show. Good morning out there. We are just tuning in from Miami, Florida. We're in a little bit cool out. It's about 62, 64 degrees and climbing. So, we like to take a little bit of crisp weather whenever we can get it. But I know we've got people that tune in from all over the place. So let's see who we have with us today. Good morning to Jenny Owens. Good morning to Connie Torres. I see Melissa Hutchins from East Texas. Nice. Judy Bauer. Yay. I know Judy was not feeling too well and was in the hospital. And I think she's still watching from there because, I think she is hopefully feeling a little bit better. And I hope you're going to be getting out today. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining. We've got Cindy Ball. Good morning. We've got Joyce Adams. Good morning. Nancy from Boston. Good morning to you. We've got Faker McFake. Good morning. We've got Deborah Vile, Judy. We've got JBL, Melissa Hutchins, Sue Galvin. Good morning. And our friends from Canada. Yay. Good morning to you. Let's see, anyone that I missed out there? Joyce Adams, good morning. Flo, good morning from North Carolina. Lisa Lilly from Richmond, Illinois. Good morning to you. Let's see, I'm trying to scroll down here. Melinda, good morning to you. Let's see, Barbara, good morning as well. And Annette, good morning to you as well. All righty. Guys, I'm not sure if I missed anyone. If I did, I'm sorry. No worries. We'll just keep going. But today we're going to do things a little bit different. And I decided that, we should do a couple of some knitting projects because I know you guys went out and got these knitting machines and, I promised I would do a couple of things. So I thought, for the rest of this week, maybe we can work on the Addi bear. And it's really quite simple. I haven't done it in a really long time. So I've got to look through my little chicken scratch notes to be able to remember how I put this together. But it is pretty simple if you have the machines. There's two main machines that you're going to require today. But before we get into all of that, again, if you're tuning in for the first time, Apologies. My name is Nancy from GiftsHQ, and this is the channel where we do all kinds of things crafting. So if that's something that you're into, you're in the right place. No worries. Go ahead and put your name in the chat and say hello and let us know you're watching for the first time, or if you're watching on that replay, no problems. Leave a little comment because we are a nice, friendly little group. Okay, so I like to start each of my sessions with a nice little toast. So let's go ahead, and actually I want to send Judy some positive vibes so she has a speedy recovery, and hope that you guys have a really great day. So thank you guys all for tuning in, and here is to your health. Go ahead and raise your glasses of whatever it is that you have in the morning. No worries, we'll be pouring you a cup. If you don't have it, just go ahead and raise that glass of whatever it is. Maybe you've got some orange juice, some apple juice, coffee, tea, soda, water. It doesn't matter. Go ahead and raise that glass, and let's go ahead and pour you that nice hot cup this morning, because I know that you guys maybe have some cold weather over there. So raise those glasses. Here's to your health. Hope, Judy, that you are out of the hospital today. And thank you guys all for your support. Grab yourself a little swivel here. Okay, feels good. Feels like it wakes me up in the morning. Didn't have too great of a night's sleep. Yeah, Mr. H kept waking me up. Yeah, he just kept moving around the bed. And he's getting better. He's walking around now, so he is getting better. I'm probably thinking by next week he's going to be here, but you know, it's just been a really slow process. But guys, thank you so much for the well wishes. Mr. H, he's doing better. He's doing better. He's getting better. It's just one of those things that you just got to wait it out until it's ready for you to move around. But he is getting there. He's a lot more flexible than he was a couple weeks ago. So hopefully he'll be back and I won't see this empty chair there anymore, right? Okay, so guys, let's get started because we've got a lot to do. I'm going to be working with my Addi 46-pin needle machine, and with that we are going to make our little bear, and she or he is so cute. You can embellish him as well. You can put little bows if you want to make it a girl bear. I added a little kind of a little bit of a pearl necklace and made her a girl just because, and I thought that was a cute little thing. But you know, you can add all that stuff later, make it a boy, make it a girl, it doesn't matter. They're just for kids, and I've got quite a number of little kiddos that have come into my life recently, so I definitely need a little bit of toy stuff for them. So here is the bear. Really cute. Has the little head, the little ears that you'll be adding on, the arms, and then this is all one piece, all the way from the head down. The neck is all one piece here. This is not sewn in. This is all just one piece, and I'll show you how to gather this at the neck. And then on the bottom, we just did a little it's kind of a mattress stitch where you just kind of close this up together. And then I decided to add a little tag. You don't have to do that, but I have little tags, and this one just says made with love. So really cute. You can get these little tags anywhere. It's just a little extra that you can just add to it. Can that be a puppet? It can if you don't close this up. I mean, we'll get to the part where we close this up, and if you decide not to close it up, you can leave it open. And so if you don't cinch this as much, actually I have it pretty cinched and I can feel inside. I would be able to put my finger inside his head to kind of move his head around if I wanted to. So yeah, absolutely can. In order to do this, you are going to need the Addi 46-pin needle machine, but you're also going to need the Addi 22, which is the smaller Addi. Now, if you have a Sentro, that's totally fine too. You can use the Sentro 48-pin needle machine, and the Sentro 22 would work just fine. very, very little bit of a difference between the two, just because this one has 46 needles and the Sentro has 48. Very, very small difference. It's about an inch of a difference. So for this project, it won't matter at all. Okay, I'm also using a little bit of polyfill that you're going to need for the head. And you can put some in the arms too if you wanted to. I chose not to. I kind of like it a little bit floppy, right? So I like that little bit of floppiness. And then the ears do not have any polyfill either. These are just kind of folded on itself, and it was enough to kind of keep them standing up. So she's looking pretty good. And I've had this bear now for a number of years. I kept one for myself to kind of use as a sample so I could remember how to do it. And thank goodness I did, because then I had to remember how I pulled all of this together. So today we're going to be working on the head, and we're going to start off the body. I'm not sure if we're going to have time to finish the body, but we're going to start off with the head, at least get the head done. And then tomorrow we'll continue, and hopefully we'll have our Addi 22 machine, and we'll do the ears and the arms, and then we'll assemble the whole thing together. So yesterday we did a little bit of decoupage, if you remember. I did do a couple of plates in here that I had, and there's several here, right? So there's some that we looked at. We had the snowman one that we did with mulberry paper as an example of one that I've done in the past. Another one that I've done in the past is with fabric. And so all of these can be done with decoupage, and we had some fun yesterday. Here's one of the ones from yesterday that we did with a napkin. Right? So, you know, we like to do just a little bit of everything. So, you know, you're doing decoupage now you're doing knitting. Yeah, because this is GiftsHQ, and we do a little bit of everything, right? So we like to change up the crafts so people don't get bored of just the one thing all the time. And I mean, who can get bored? It's crafting. You just do all kinds of stuff. It's the holiday season. It's, you know, the time to just give gifts and, you know, make things for people and cherish the relationships you have with them. And what better way to do it with crafting and handmade items. So we do a little bit of everything. So today we're going to tackle a knitting, and I'll show you a couple of different yarns that I'm going to use for this project. But any kind of project that you guys do, please go ahead and post it on Facebook. And I know that Marina posted a table that she decoupaged, and it was like a table with a vase on it, and she put that on our Facebook group, and that's amazing. And I think it was really, really nice. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's on our Facebook page. I think it was beautiful. And like I told you, there's people that really do some really beautiful things with decoupage, with furniture. I mean, it's really amazing. Lovely, lovely, lovely stuff out there. So you may want to check that out, because sometimes, you know, you may not be into decoupage, but you may see something that you really like, and that'll change your tune. But give it a try. You know, everything is a little bit different. Just give it a try. You never know if you're going to like it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on this. Can we embroider the bear also to personalize it? Well, you can certainly do a patch and add the patch on here. I am using yarn. So if you wanted to embroider it, I guess you probably could make like an in the hoop type project with it and make it out of fabric. I would have to kind of think that through and see how I can come up with all of the measurements for that to do it as an in the hoop project. But that might be a challenge. I may think about that and see maybe I can kind of convert this into a fabric bear. But for today, we're going to do it out of yarn. So we'll see what happens here. All right, so what yarns are we using? So there's quite a number of yarns out there. For these type of machines, the best yarn to use is a weight category of 4, which is the medium weight. Now I'm using an acrylic yarn, and they have a bunch of yarns that I really love. These are by Lions brand yarn. Let's see if I can grab the other ones. I think this is the same one. Has a nice category of yarns that's called skin tones, and these work really, really well with anyone who is making toys with their machines, like bears, and you can do all kinds of things, you know, snowman, bears, bunnies. There's so many things that you can make, childlike toys, and they have these skin tones that kind of resemble if you're making a little dolly or things like that, and you can change all kinds of things. And so I really like their yarns. I think it is perfect for these machines. They are 100% acrylic, and let me bring one over here. This is what it looks like. It's by Lions brand. So let's go over to the desktop cam. Here we go. So it is called Skin Tone, and it is by Lions brand. Let me see if it's focused in on that. There we go. Okay. And these are a little bit more pricier than the regular yarn, but I believe it is really a nice touch for these types of projects. Now for the weight category, again, it is a medium weight number 4. Okay. And that's what we're going to be using. And so this is what I have on hand. So I do have about 2 bundles of these, and I think these 2 skeins are going to be just fine for what we need. Now the one that I used originally for this bear here that's already made, it's called Impeccable Yarn, and this is the one that I used. I'm just not sure if I'm going to have enough to make the bear, and again, this is a medium category 4 weight yarn. It's 100% acrylic. And it worked really well. Unfortunately, I don't think I have enough, and I don't know if I want to take that chance unless I'm going to do like a mini bear, right? So I'm not going to use this one. So it'll just be a slightly different color, which I'm totally fine with. And then we're going to just use these, because if I had enough of the other one, I really liked the way this one worked through the machine, so I wouldn't mind doing this one again. But because I don't have enough, and I'm not going to have time to get over to the store to grab some more, so I'm going to just kind of stick this to the side, and we're going to go and work with these. So Lions brand yarn, you can basically purchase it anywhere online, Amazon, Michael's, any of those places like that will sell these skeins. And this is about 3.5 ounces, 185 yards, and it is 100% acrylic. So they come in different colors, as you can see. Now you're gonna need a couple different colors just to do some offset, but not much of it. So don't go out and buy a whole skein just for a tiny little piece. You will need a darker color, or whatever color. You can do a pink bear if you want it to, really, right? So you can go ahead and just make the bear. You're going to need at least a skein for that. And then you're going to want some different colors to make the snout over here. You can see that that is a color that's going to offset here, so make sure it's a contrasting color. And then you're going to need some yarn for the little nose. Not very much. It's only this amount that you're going to need, so not too much yarn. So just make sure it's kind of a contrast to the snout so that it kind of stands out. And then you're just going to need tiny, tiny pieces of yarn for the beady little eyes. Now you can use the little eyelets that you can purchase. I don't like to use those for kids when I know I'm gifting it to a kid. I'd rather use just the yarn, just for safety for me. I know that they are safe and they don't come out. I just don't want to take that chance. So I would rather just do it with a yarn. and know that there's nothing in here that can possibly get choked on or anything like that. So this is totally fine. They drag these everywhere and they put them through everything. So it's really a nice little gift because the moms can then, you know, after a while when they get all raggedy, they can just throw it in the wash and it'll come out just fine. So really, really simple to do. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and start off with my darker skein here. And I'm going to be using this to start off. And let me see if I can grab, let's see here, if I can grab the end without tangling. So I'm going to take the sleeve off here. Now I haven't done this for a long time, so bear with me. There may be some bumps on the road. Let's see here. I'm going to pull it from this side right here. Okay. Now I am also going to be using my yarn holder. My yarn holder's my friend. She's going to be holding my yarn for me, and it's going to eliminate it from getting too tangled up. Now you can just kind of put it down on the ground and just feed it through, but sometimes it gets a little knotted and it gets tangled and you have to stop and untangle it, and so it can get a little annoying. So I like my little yarn holder. All I do is I take my skein and I just put her right in the middle there, and I just pop her inside and just wait for it to come out on the other side. Maybe want to help it out a little bit. There we go. And then it has a little magnet on the top, and then you just go ahead and clip her and she will hold it and it will swing around, which is nice because it's nice and freeform. So as I pull the yarn that I need, it's just going to be turning and it'll be less of a chance for me to get all knotted. Let's see, Nancy, do you ever sell these? I guess my daughter just announced she's expecting. I have never sold them at all, but no, I really just do it for fun. I just really like to do it. But congrats on your daughter. She's expecting. That's amazing. Yay. I hope that, you should be able to follow along and you should be able to do these pretty quickly. But no, I don't sell them. I just like to do what I do just because. I don't have an Etsy shop or anything. I do have an Etsy shop because I'm holding the name. And I tried to kind of put the music out there. I just don't have the time. With my full-time job, it's just not enough time between the full-time job and the channel. I'm taking care of my mom and then even the house. It's too much. I wouldn't be able to handle an Etsy shop at this point. Maybe when I retire, that would be great. But congratulations on your daughter. That's amazing. Okay, so I've got my yarn here on the yarn holder. That's going to help me out to keep it out of the way and kind of not get it all tangled. Now, does it guarantee that it's not going to get tangled up? No, it's not a guarantee. It just helps you along. It really does help out, and it lessens the risk of it getting all knotted. It's just really, really amazing. Oh, you've got the yarn holder from the link on Prime Day. Awesome. And the base holds things. I super love it. Yeah, it's, for me, it brought back my love of knitting, because one of the things that was really frustrating is as you go through these, I would put it down on the yarn bowl and I'd have the yarn bowl down on the floor while I'm knitting up on the table so it would flow up. And so, all the yarn sticking to it would just kind of fall down. And by the time it came to me, it was pretty good. But every once in a while, you get that knot and then you have to stop. You have to unknot it, and it just became frustrating. So this is really nice for me to be able to just do it this way. I just prefer it that way. Okay, so let me just go through my notes here. So what we're going to do first, let's see. We're going to work on the inner head. So what do I mean by inner head? So on here, I told you that this is all one piece, right? From the head to the body, it's one piece. Well, it is one piece, but we are also going to be putting a lot of polyfill on here. When you put polyfill and you stretch it out, because it's just one layer, you're going to be able to see the polyfill. As you can see, when I stretch it out, you can't see the polyfill. And that's because this is doubled up. So we have an inner head and an outer head on here. So there's two heads in here. So we're going to make the inner head, we're going to stuff it with the polyfill, and then the outer head will go on top of it. That'll give it that extra layer so that you can't see the polyfill and it won't be seen on the outside here, no matter how much they stretch it. And that's one thing that I really like to do, because I think, you know, it's really nice to have it so that you can't see that polyfill, because these kids are going to stretch it. They're going to do all kinds of things to this bear. The poor little thing is going to take a beating. So you want to make sure that the polyfill doesn't stick out, because knowing little kids, they're going to see one little strand of polyfill and they're going to start to pull it out, right? So you want to make sure that it's nice and secure in there. And so definitely, you know, we're going to do that. Now, the Addi machine comes with the clamps that you can clamp down onto your table here. I'm not going to use them today, only because if I do that down here, it just makes it a little awkward for me to be able to do it and for you guys to see it with the camera. So I'm just going to kind of free form it here. I've got this little board here on the side of my Addi machine. And usually this is what I use to clamp down to the table so that it brings it out a little bit more and it's not so much to the edge of the table so you guys could see it. So I kind of do that, but I'm going to just use the board to hold it down, and we're going to try not to use the clamp. If I end up having to, then I will grab them. But for now, I think we'll be okay not using them. All right, so we've got our skein on our yarn holder, and we've got the edge here. I'm gonna look at my machine and just kind of line this up, and I am looking for my first black needle. Here it is. Now I did mark. My Addi machine has a tiny bit of a mark on this bump right here, and let me see if I can show you that, because I think it's pretty important, because it really does help out a lot. On my Addi machine here, let me see if I can move the bear over and bring this over to the dust cam. This is just something that I do, and it wears out after a while, so then I'll do it again. I just take a black marker right here, and I just made a little mark here on this bump. And you're thinking, why am I marking up my machine? Well, this little bump represents the end of my white needle and my first black needle. My first black needle is needle number 1. So if you see in the Addi machines, and some people may not even notice, there are numbers on here. They're very hard to see, and I'll try to lift it up. Maybe you guys can see that on here. You can see the number 2, number 3, but what this represents, this is the 46th needle, and this is the first needle. So this is just representing the last bump from the 46th row, if I'm doing rows. And this just allows me to see from a further standpoint when it's just going around in circles. It just allows me to see when this last needle is coming close to me. The counter is going to tell me, but this is going to allow me to physically see when the bump is getting close to the end here. So I will slow it down just so I can get to the right row that I'm getting at. So this is it right here. I guess you can see somewhat of them, just a tad here. But it's very, very light, and they don't make it too easy to see the numbers, but they are there. And that's just what I'm doing, is just kind of doing that little mark so I know when it's coming towards me. Okay. All right, so let's get going on this. So we've got this here. I'm going to go ahead and grab my yarn, and I'm going to position this so that I have my first black needle standing up here, and I'm going to go ahead and I am going to do a little long tail here, maybe about from the size of your elbow to your wrist. That's about the size that you want to start off on. So then just grab that piece here, and then you're just going to do a little V right on that first black needle. Okay, and that's going to be your cast on. Just go ahead and drop the one that is all cut off here on the end. Go ahead and drop that inside, and then just slowly cast on. And if you need further help on the cast on process, I have a video that does really close-up shots on the cast on process. Whoops. And so you just want to do that. Just go ahead and cast it on. You're moving to the front and back of every needle on that first row. That's going to anchor it in and allow you to then start knitting on your machine. So go ahead and cast on, do it nice and slowly. As you can see, I've got my little black mark there and my last white needle. I'll go ahead and wrap behind it. I'm going to open up my yarn holder and just slide it into place and close that up. Now, if you have not already set your counter, go ahead and make sure you're set to 0. And as I click over, as I move the handle and move over to this black needle, it's going to go ahead and click on 1. So right now I'm setting it up to 9999 because I don't want to count the cast on as a row. You want to count your first row, not the cast on. So go ahead and let it do the little noise. You heard that little crank. That just now means that it's at 0000 and it's ready to go. So now we're going to go ahead and just start cranking away. And so the first row you want to do nice and slowly because you're kind of getting your groove going here. And we've got some yarn that we're going to just set to the side, and you're going to do it nice and slow because sometimes it's a little bit clunky on that first row because the needles are now just getting accustomed to the yarn. And so once you get past that first row, it gets a lot smoother, and you can see that it's starting to move a lot easier now. And so our yarn holder is now going to start going ahead and feeding the yarn. And you may get a little tug every now and then as the yarn holder is spinning round and round and your yarn is coming off of the yarn holder. But that's why I'm holding it with my hand here. Now they have all kinds of tension that you can get as well. These little attachments that you can put on to your Addi machine that also will help with the tension. I'm just so used to doing it with my hands that I kind of just hold on the yarn with my hand. And I'm not like pressing it down or anything like that. I'm just allowing the yarn to flow through my hand with just a tiny, tiny bit of pressure just to keep it flowing the same all the time. You don't want to have your yarn to be very loose on one row and very tight on another. You want nice, even tension. And so I just keep holding on to it as I go through. And we're going to do this for about 16 rows. Right now we are on row number 7. So there's all kinds of attachments that you can do too that will make this a lot quicker with little hand-powered drills, things like that. It's just really, really easy that you could do that. But I just prefer to just crank it up by hand. I'm good with that. And you can see here we sped it up a little bit, so it's started to turn just a little bit more here. Okay, let's see. We're coming on row number 11. Doesn't take too long to get this piece done. Yeah, let me get it closer to me so I can see the counter because I'll just keep going. Is the counter easy to see? It is. The counter is right here. Now, the counters on the Addi machines, I find, have never had any kind of an issue. I've never had an issue with my counter on my Addi machines. However, on the Sentro, those counters do go bad with time. In the beginning, I didn't have any issues with it, but with time, they do stop working, but you can purchase, they have these counters that you can put onto the side of your machine. So if your counter breaks, you can use that, and they are just as good. So you can always use that. Now I am on row 15. I'm about to hit 16. I can see my little black mark coming up here. That will kind of stop at row 16. And so that is row 16 for me. So I'm going to check here. Let's see. And okay. And so I think I have my snips in here. Let me just check. Yes, I do. So you'll need just a pair of snips or scissors or something. And I'm going to leave just kind of a long, maybe from elbow to wrist, a long string right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut that. Okay, and then I'm going to open up my yarn feeder, and I'm just going to take my yarn out, close that back up. Remember, you have to close it, otherwise your machine's going to be doing all these like clunky type of sounds. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to do one row all the way around. And as you get to your end of your row, you're going to kind of get closer here, and you're going to want to grab your darning needle. So your Addi should have came with a darning needle. It would look something like this. I like to keep mine all together. The one that comes with the Addi machine is the little red one, and it's got a little bit of a bent tip on it, which is really handy, because it does help you pick them out. So let me show you what they look like. So this is the needle that it comes with. It's just a plastic needle, but if you have a darning needle, that'll work too. I just like that it has that little bit of a bent tip, so it really helps out to pick up your stitches there. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that end of my yarn, and I'm going to go ahead and feed that through here. So go ahead and put that in. I like to kind of just wet it a little bit just to get it through. Haven't done this in so long, gosh. I think I lost my touch here. There we go. All right. So now that I've got this through, all I'm going to do is go around and pick up all of my stitches. So the way you'll do that, and this is why you want to kind of make this a little bit long, so it allows you to kind of go around. So go ahead and pick up your stitches here. I'm going to get this a little closer to me, and you're just picking up each one of these stitches. You're going to find a little bit of a loop that's in between your two needles here. Let's see if I can get this a little bit close so I can show you that better. Let's see. Let me move these clamps out of the way. Now, it may be a little hard to see. I'll see what you guys can see here. Let's see if I can turn it this way. Okay, so difficult for me to see here, but in between these two right here, you're going to have yarn. So you want to put your bent needle tip in between the two, and you want to scoop up that loop that's here. And let me just try to see it for myself first. There we go. And you can see that piece of yarn. You see the yarn in between there? That is what you are picking up. Okay. And so all you want to do, you want to make sure you grab all the strands. So let me just do that again, make sure. See, I've got all the strands here, and then I'm going to go ahead and just pull my needle through. And that picked up that yarn. Then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the next one. And so you'll keep doing this and picking up your yarn all the way around as you go through it. Okay? What you don't want to do though, you do not want to pick this up so that this lifts up before you can get to it. So make sure that as you do this, this one, you keep your eye on your next one, and you don't want it to lift off before you have a chance to catch it, because you can drop that stitch, and then that'll kind of leave you with a little bit of a hole. There's a way to fix it, but it's, you know, easier to just not have that happen. And so just go around and pick up your stitches here. And as you become better at picking up your stitches, you can do 3, 4 at a time before you pull the needle. So let me try to, I'm kind of doing it at an angle, so it's a little hard for me to see, but this is picking up one stitch right here. I can just pull that, and without pulling it all the way through, I can just grab the next one and just pull it up. And then I can put my finger here so this one doesn't come up, and then just pull it all the way through, and then just put it underneath the bumps. That's totally fine. And then just keep going all the way around. So I'm going to grab this back so we can move this a little bit quicker here. And it's just easier for you to just kind of be right in front of it so that you can pick up the stitches. And then as you start getting further away from yourself, just go ahead and grab the little handle and pull the stitches more towards you. Okay. Makes it a little bit easier for you to go around. Okay. Here we go. And just pull it. And so you're just going to do that as best you can. And you're going to notice it's going to start coming off of the machine. That's exactly what you want. You're casting off. We are done with our rows. So you can just go ahead and do this one by one like this, right? Just doing one needle at a time. And I would prefer that you do it that way until you get more comfortable, right? As you get more comfortable, then you can pick up multiple stitches like this. But if it's your first time or you don't feel too comfortable doing it, then I would just go ahead and just do one at a time. Okay, I'm going to do a couple at a time just to keep us going a little bit faster here. Okay, and then just keep going. And after we're done with this, we're going to cinch it, and then you're going to need that polyfill. So have that polyfill handy. You're getting closer towards that end. Hold on here. This one got stuck there. Okay. All right, we're almost there. Getting towards that end. All right, last few stitches here, and we'll be good to go. These just are getting a little stubborn towards the end here. And last two, let me get it a little bit closer to me. There we go. Okay. And I think we got this one, but we'll pick this one up anyway. If you're not sure if you picked it up, pick it up anyway. There we go. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. Did I miss any? Don't think I did, but I will pick this one up. I may have dropped one stitch. Or did I? No, I don't think I did. Okay. All right. So pull that through. Go ahead and take your needle off. And you're going to say, oh my God, I have nothing but a big mess. It's totally fine. Go ahead and grab the end of one of them and pull them in a little bit. You're going to see it's going to start to make a little bit of a circle. Can you guys see that? You've got like that little, looks like a scrunchie almost, right? So you're going to go ahead and pull that and close that up, right? And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just start to pull it. You're going to see it's going to start to gather a little bit here. See how it's starting to close up? You don't want to close it up completely just yet because we're going to be stuffing this in a little bit. So just go ahead and pull, pull, pull. There. And we've got kind of one with one that's a little bit closed up more than the other, which is fine. We're going to close up one end as tight as you can, and then we're going to leave the other end a little bit open, and you're going to grab that polyfill. Now there's all kinds of different brands of polyfill. It really doesn't matter what you use. Just use whatever you have on hand, or just go ahead and get a very small bag. You don't need very much. You're just filling in the little head here. And that's all you're going to do is stuff it with that. There's all kinds of different brands that you can get. Again, you just get whatever you want. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take that polyfill and you're just going to fill it up here. And you can do as much as you want. Now, you want this to be a little bit soft. You don't want it to be too hard, right? So don't overstuff your polyfill. Remember, there's another layer of yarn that's going to go on top of that. So you want to kind of leave it a little bit floppy, just enough where it's firm enough when you press down with your hands. You can feel it a little bit firm, but it's not too bad, and it kind of just bounces right back up. And so you want to use that as kind of your gauge. Just kind of see, you want it to be a little bit soft. You don't want it to be too hard on you. So just kind of gauge how much you want to use. If you took too much, you know, just go ahead and pull some out. But you can play around with that and then just go ahead and stuff it. And then once you do that, you just need to close it. So we have to close one of our ends. So you can see this end right here still has that little bit of a hole. And so we want to go ahead and we want to close up that hole. So we're going to pull our yarn. You're going to have two pieces of yarn hanging out, right? One is closing the inner one down here, and you're going to pull as much as you can to close that shut. Okay, you can see how the hole has practically disappeared here. And make sure that that stays nice and tight. A way to secure that is you can go ahead and do a little knot on here so it doesn't move around anymore, right? Keeping it nice and tight. Or go ahead and grab that darning needle and go ahead and put it on the end of that loop. And then what you're going to do is just kind of close that up here. So just kind of reinforce it so it doesn't open back up. So even though I did a little knot, you could still see I have a little bit of a hole there. So we want to close that up because this is what's going to hold your polyfill. Now this doesn't have to be neat or anything like that. Just fold this in half and you're just going to do a whip stitch to close that shut. No one's going to see this. This is the inner part of the head. So don't worry about being neat about this part because nobody's going to see this. It is really going to be just inside. So do a little whip stitch to close that up. And that will reinforce to help keep the polyfill inside, right? You just don't want that to come out. And there you go. Nice and tight. And so that little hole is now gone, okay? And so then I'll just go ahead and do a little knot here on the end so it doesn't unravel on me. And I'll just tighten that up. And there we go. And then I'm just going to work my yarn into some of these loops right here. Just work it in here, pull that through, grab my snips, which I'm not sure where I left. Oh, there we go. I'll grab my little snips here and I'll go ahead and snip that yarn off. And don't forget to take your needle off of that as well. Okay, so now this is all closed up here and ready to go. And now I'm ready to just go ahead and stuff this with my polyfill and then close this up here. Now, I like to use a different polyfill, but I didn't have it on hand, so I may just go to like a Walmart or something and see if I can grab the one that I really like. This is one that I got like on sale a long time ago, and I'm really not a fan of this one. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to hold off putting the polyfill tomorrow, and I will grab the one that I like, because I like this one's a little bit tougher, and I like it to be nice and soft on the top. So I'm going to hold off on doing that polyfill, because this one's kind of a low loft. It's not really meant for these types of projects, but it's the only thing I had on hand. So I just might run off to Walmart after I get off work to grab a bag, a small bag. You don't need much. And then that'll just fill up the head. But what we're going to do is just go ahead and put your polyfill in here, and then you're going to use this yarn that's hanging off, and you're going to go ahead and pull on it, and it's going to be closing. Okay, and you'll have your nice filled up head with some polyfill in here. And then that will be the inner head. And this is the part that no one's going to see, but you're going to have the polyfill inside, and it's going to serve as a double layer so that they can't see the polyfill on here. So that is the inner head. Now tomorrow we'll work on the head and the body. This is all one piece right here. So I will start it off because this one's a little bit longer. This one requires, let's see. Well, for the body, it's kind of complicated because it's more than 50 rows on here. But there's a cinching part that I do want to show you. So I'll do it halfway. And actually, I may do 2 of them, and then I can show you how to cinch this on the neck area. It's just a cinched area here. It's not 2 different pieces. And so I'll show you how to cinch that so that you can create the neck and make it look like it's 2 pieces, even though it's just 1. So I'll show you how to do that tomorrow. And then we'll be working on the little parts. And those you will need to connect to the neck. And then the little ears, you'll be connecting to the outer head. So that's really good. Yeah, 2 heads are always better than 1. That's right, right? Yeah, definitely. So you can go ahead and get started, get your yarn, go ahead and start with the inner head here, and stuff it with your favorite polyfill and kind of play around with the sizing of the polyfill amount that you use. You know, not too much, you don't want to have a really big head, right? So you want to just do that. It's going to be proportionate to the size that you're making. So a little bit less than a, I don't know, it's definitely less than a baseball and a little bit more than a golf ball, right? So kind of in between the 2. So make that head, stuff it, and then go ahead and close it up. And then you're going to want to reinforce it just like you did on the bottom here. Okay. You want to reinforce that completely shut. So it's just going to be a ball. All right. Okay. So that's where we ended because we're already running out of time. And you know, we didn't even do our food truck. I didn't let you guys get your snacks and no one said anything. Well, I guess we were just too excited and we forgot about our snacks. So go ahead and grab one today. Oh, Faker McFake did? Well, I'm sorry, Faker McFake. I did not let you get your snacks. I'm so sorry about that. Completely forgot about it. I just, you know, wanted to get all of this in, and I knew that it was going to be a jam-packed session. I do have to end on the hour because I do have to get to work, unfortunately. But at some point when I retire, we can do longer sessions and we can finish all the projects in one session. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, so go ahead and do your inner heads, and then I will meet you back here tomorrow, and we'll be working on the body head combo with the cinched area in the middle. So before we go, let's go ahead and get our quote of the day in. We can do that, right? Let's go ahead and roll that out if we can. Alrighty, so for today's quote of the day is, "Time spent crafting now creates joy felt deeply during the holidays." And that's exactly what we want to do is work on our projects that we know we're going to gift out. And I think they're really going to touch the hearts of those that we gift it to. I really love doing handmade items and giving them out to friends and family. And I think it's just much more special than a store-bought item. So it's just something that I really love. Okay, so Judy, I hope you get better and out of the hospital soon. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day today. Please go ahead and grab your items and meet me back here tomorrow so we can finish up this bear, because we're going to have a lot of fun pulling it together, and I'll give you some more ideas on embellishments and things like that. Again, thank you guys all for all of your support. Have a fantastic day. I will see you here tomorrow, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye, everyone.
So long for now, so long. Glad you stayed a while. Hope you liked my crafting style. Hope I left you with a smile. By now, keep your mind and space clutter-free. Hope your day is bright as can be. So long, my friends, till we craft once again. Bye now, stay crafting. See you tomorrow. So long, my friends, till we craft once again.